Specializing in trauma-informed transformation coaching and mentoring, Elian Haan supports her clients through existing challenges and obstacles in life and offers a healthy and balanced path forward through innovative tools, proven techniques, and individually designed exercises. Elian is a best-selling author, speaker, and TV show host and master trainer for up-and-coming coaches. Today, she's going to share, are you a mess around seasonal stress? 5 solutions to keep it together. Elian, welcome to the Bree Talk stage.
Thank you, Taralee. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you, everybody, for still hanging on, right? We're getting towards the end of our morning, afternoon together. So I'm very glad that everybody is still here listening. Yes, my question to you, are you a mess around seasonal stress? I work with my clients and in the past patients a lot on anxiety and stress, and I want to give you some nuggets today and tell you where that comes from. In the first place, I am a mess around seasonal stress as well. So I always have to apply all that I tell others to myself. And I got better at that the last 10 years. To give Mark a little heart, definitely a big heart to Mark. And thank you for sharing that, because for 10 years, I worked in an addiction facility, addiction recovery facility, as a wellness counselor and help people in their recovery. And there was a lot of stress and there was a lot of anxiety. And of course, that can lead to depression around all the problems that existed, right? And so drinking, substance use or abuse, those were just band-aids on the pain, on the trauma. And so I really became specialized on, would we say, that topic. Anxiety is one of the things that becomes a little bit easier to handle if we are creating more awareness. So I'm going to talk about these solutions, but where did that come from with me? And why did I get such insights? And sometimes I can even call myself an expert on the topic. I always say gently, because I did everything wrong myself. And so I had to learn the hard way. And that was definitely also in my conversations with God. One of the things that I went through early in life was experiencing trauma, especially in my 20s and in my 30s. My parents both passed away from alcohol overdose. When I was in my 20s and my 30s, I was still in a relationship, my high school relationship, with somebody who was very addicted to alcohol. And ironically, we ran a bar in the center of Amsterdam, the Netherlands. And he couldn't handle his alcohol. And I tried to help with that and just saw a lot of that around me, and just kind of became resistant, but at the same time, of course, drinking a lot, being the alcoholic myself, genetically passed on, and finding lots of excuses for it, so to speak. I didn't have any relationship with God at that moment. I was brought up Lutheran. I was brought up with a sense of the church around the holidays. I was going to many churches. I was angry, and even more angry, and by that time, very, very mad at God. So let alone that I was going to have a conversation with him. Right. So it was a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, but there was a lot of, with me, even more, just anger and resentment, and a lot of fear, and a lot of expectation around me, in a sense of, when my parents had passed away, I still wanted to please them. I still wanted to walk the walk that was expected from me, being, having a set career, get married, have children, do the Wisteria Lane super family thing, right? That was all not really for me, but I tried as well for a moment. Married somebody addicted to alcohol, got into that relationship that was not good, then ended up in the States overnight, almost falling in love with an American who left me the next day and cheated on me. So it was all not very good, and hence my anger and my relationship, my upset relationship with God. We talked about this a little bit, and I heard this before as well. I started really a long decade of anger, fear, a lot of things that will all lead up to the same. Right out of that fear comes that restlessness, comes that negative thinking, procrastination in everything, right? The next day I'm going to do better. A lot of self-esteem problems, a lot of resentment again towards everything. In other words, I will not ever have this. This will never be for me. I can't do this. And lots of limiting beliefs. I really didn't have a support system. And I was not looking to the only one. They would always be there to support me and to save me. And so I just didn't really feel that I was there and that I was very supported. I was just kind of like wandering alone in this world of anger and this world of what next. The fun thing is that when I started to come out of that slowly, was just like some of you already mentioned, a lot of help by mentors, by self-mastery, right? By stepping into learning about myself. I was introduced by a friend who was at that time my pastor, and who was also the person that I helped with ALS. He passed away. Also of Lou Gehrig's disease, and I was his wellness counselor and worked with him. He actually kind of turned it around one day and said, "You should do a lot better." And I said, "I'm sorry, what do you mean?" He said, "You're not in the relationship where God wants you to be with him. Although you are going to my church, you are helping me, you're doing the right thing, you are a Christian for others. You're not being a Christian towards yourself. You don't respect yourself at all, and you don't put any value on yourself." That woke me up. That woke me up. He asked me questions in the sense of, what do other people get out of it being around you? I couldn't answer that question. I had even more anxiety about that question. And I definitely did not want to go back to thinking about myself. I really didn't want to step into that part of self-mastery, really go into the bottom of it and telling myself, oh, well, you just lack this and that, right? So I kind of wanted to just be the good coach and be the good teacher and be the entertainer and the edutainer and all that, but not really wanting to go inwards in that sense of what is my relationship with God. He said, you don't see that value. You don't respect yourself. You can stay poor. I had a poor relationship with money. You can stay poor in your relationships. You can stay poor in asking for support. You can stay poor in prayer and in support. So if you want to change it around, go look at self-respect. And what are you going to do with that? Stop those expectations and start respecting what you can contribute. What do you do for others? And I would say, oh yeah, but other people, if they're around me, that's just fun. And if I help them, that's just good for all of us. It's just fun. Basically, I would really just answer every question with fun. Long story short, I learned to value and respect myself and put some value on what I deliver, and became a coach for years as a wellness counselor, like I said, in a facility for recovery, and then started to take that to my own practice. So now I help people with their problems, with being stuck, with their purpose, with their why, and of course, stepping into that relationship with God. And especially that faith portion, right? 1 Peter, verse 5. Cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. That was the part that was so hard to believe for me. He cares for me. I rather care for everybody else. I rather don't ask. So when I give you 5 nuggets on that anxiety, what is that really? I'm not talking about the daily stress that you get from watching the news or from stuff around you, happenings, daily happenings. Of course, there's a lot that just causes that little temporary stress. If that goes too far, that goes into anxiety. And that anxiety is really dealing with a state of perceived disempowerment. What you're dealing with is happening, is perceived feeling that the danger ahead, that is not even there, that the danger ahead is greater than your capacity to deal with what's coming. So in the first place, if it's for 3 months, 100 degrees outside in Texas, anxiety is standing outside with an umbrella waiting for it to rain, right? You know it's not coming. And secondly, it's just always being and feeling unequipped, feeling not up to the task of things that are coming. How can we do something about that? I'm going to give you the normal things that we usually say first, right? The normal things that I would advise you first, right? Go move, go exercise. That was a big part of my help with people in recovery as well, of course, and people with general anxiety disorder. Go move, go do something. Don't take something, go do something. What's your diet? What's your sleep patterns? Relax more and listen to meditation or go outside and play. These are the normal things. I'm going to give you a couple of thoughts that go a little bit deeper. Can you, just like I didn't, can you identify the real feelings behind the anxiety? Has it been tough for you lately? Have you gone through times that were really difficult and that you're not aware of, or that you're not forgiving yourself for, or that you not forgive others for? Are you still into a really tough time? And all that perception becomes more and more and more. What do we forget? We forget to be nice to ourselves. We forget to know, and we forget to believe and have that faith that He cares for us, that God cares. Secondly, we might resist change. When people come to me about seasonal anxiety again, right? I have so much stress. I have the family coming over. The kids are always coming over with the holidays. Well, what if this the first time in 25 years would be that time that you say, we're not home, we're coming to you? We don't do that because we create a cultural pattern of those systematic faith things, or what do you call that? The cultural, the traditional things, right? We want to just create things that were always the same. But is that because we are not open to change? Is that because we always want to be in control? Is that because we always want the same? Or can we actually be open to something different? You might be surprised if you do. You might resist that change, but try to do things different this time, and you might be surprised. The third one would be, do you actually know what you want? People always come to me and say, I don't know. I do know what I don't want, and I don't want this anymore. I don't want this stress. I don't want this anxiety. I don't want this family stuff. I don't want this money. I don't want all this company. I don't want the kids. I don't want to be alone. On the negative side of loneliness and isolation around the holidays, right? But then tell me what you do want. And that is hard. People have a hard time telling me, as a coach, what they do want. So we're going to have to figure that out step by step. We're going to have to draw that. We're going to have to visualize that. We're going to have to picture that, and then take small action steps towards smaller goals. What do you want? What do you want to see? Do you actually really want to be alone, or do you want company? And how can we create that? How can we take the next action steps towards creating something different? And if we cannot see that, then pray about it. Ask God to guide us to where we should be, or where He wants us to be. That is so much of what I learned. I need to ask constantly, please guide me. Please, Lord, guide me to where we need to be, and what I need to do, and where my people are, and what I need to spread. Where does my wisdom go? Where does my expertise go? What can I do with it? Please show me, right? Ask for that support. Number 4, sometimes our thoughts are not accurate, and we just see everything like I did in the past, like one big negative, thinking ball of, I cannot do it. It won't happen. It's not going to be okay. I can't get out of the money problems. I don't have really the courage to step into something new. I've never done this. I've never done that. That is something that will sabotage and keep sabotaging ourselves, right? Keep sabotaging us. So we have to step out of those limiting belief thoughts and those negative thinking thoughts, and start creating again, manifesting with our higher power, just manifesting that feel like, yes, I can do it. And yes, there's a lot of amazing things out there that I can see for myself. I can do different thoughts. I can think different. It's just a practice. Our mindset, our brain is just a big muscle that we have to train. Right? And I love doing that. I love stepping into that. The last one I want to give you today is remember. And around the holidays, we forget that a lot. Remember your strength. We always forget to look back. We always forget to turn around. I do it a lot myself. We forget to turn around and say, oh yes, I just did all of that. I overcame. I was amazing in that situation. I already did so much. What in the world am I thinking that I cannot handle it this time? Start with small things, take over that control, take over that wheel, and then just do small things that make you feel good, that make you feel really good. Remember your strength. Sometimes we're looking up to these big mountains, especially around this time of the year, when it's difficult to make decisions, when it can be difficult when it comes to money, when it can be difficult around expectations, when it can be difficult about what everybody else is doing and not running that rat race. And maybe you don't want to run that rat race. And then what is that judgment that comes back, right? Oh, you're not doing it. What if we just totally submerge just in self and with our own wants and our own needs? What is good for us? And then pray about that. And cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. Right? That is so important to keep that in mind. I want to give you a quote and a call to action. I want to give you a quote that I wrote about that is just so exciting for me. I love it so much because, yes, why is this in my book and my autobiography that I wrote a couple of years ago? The big quote, life doesn't get any easier. And we said that a lot today. We said that a lot today. Life does not get any easier. All of you, you are amazing speakers. You've been through so much. Life doesn't get any easier, but you know what? You get better at it. With support, you really get better at it. And it really gets easier. Just ask and thou shall be given. Absolutely. You can find me, Elian Haan, at gmail.com. You can find me, elianhaan.net, on my website. And my gift to you are 10 tips for anxiety around stressful times. And that is a handout on my website. Please grab it. There's a few more to the ones that I gave you today. Please grab it. And please reach out on my Calendly. The link is also on my website for a free session of powwow, right? For a free powwow session about this stuff that we're dealing with. Lots of love to you, and thank you so much for listening today.